The Expansion Pass is a DLC with 2 waves of extra content for Splatoon 3. Both waves are very different. The first one is a quite small, inconsequential addition, and the second is much bigger. It's a new single-player mode with its own story, characters, and gameplay. This DLC is bought as a bundle, including the 2 waves for about $25. And in today's video, I want to talk about the Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass DLC. I'll explain what the 2 waves are along with their pros and cons, so you can determine if they're worth spending your money on. Before we get into it, I just want to say that I will not spoil the main story or final boss for Side Order, but know that I will still mention some rewards that you can get from it. The first wave is Inkopolis Plaza. This lets you travel to Inkopolis Plaza and serves as an alternative to Splatsville. It's not an exact port. The devs clearly wanted to show that the area has evolved since its appearance in Splatoon 1, because we now have the Shoal, Grisco, Atlantis, and Table Turf that weren't present in that game. New characters are introduced like Shelly, Donnie, and Fred Crumbs. And previously known characters have updated appearances like Annie with her more alternative style, and Spike who's grown older. And of course we can't forget Kelly and Marie that are still in their studio. Inkopolis Plaza does have one major issue though. It's purely cosmetic. Yes, it changes the plaza and some of the characters in it, but it doesn't affect anything else gameplay-wise. It's still Deep Cut who does the news, and I know it's to follow the game's lore, but I still wanted to see the Squid Sisters announce Splatfest. Another thing is that the lobbies are the same as in Splatsville. I think new lobbies would have been nice for variety, but also to make it feel like we're actually in another city. I'm not mad about it, but I would have liked to see them do more with Inkopolis Plaza to make it feel more worthwhile and less of a reskin of Splatsville. Overall, I do still enjoy Wave 1 of the Expansion Pass. I like the characters and the overall look and vibe of Inkopolis Plaza. Events are also done really well here. The Squid Sisters Splatfest performances are great, and the Big Run ambience is just perfect. But it's important to remember that Inkopolis Plaza is cosmetic and will not affect your gameplay experience in any meaningful way. Let's move on to the big one, Wave 2 and the main selling point of the Expansion Pass DLC, Side Order. Side Order is an entirely new single-player campaign that features Agent 8, Off the Hook, and Octo as the main characters. In it, you have to climb the Spire of Order to defeat the main villain, while facing various new enemies along the way. Every floor you gain an upgrade for your weapon in the form of color chips. You accumulate these chips until floor 30 where you face the final boss. However, if you lose all your lives, you get sent back to the Order sector and you have to restart the climb. But once you're there, you can buy hacks from Marina to make things easier. Throughout the DLC, you uncover the story of the Memverse and how things came to be in this world. It's important to note that Side Order is a new take on single-player Splatoon. If you die, you restart from the beginning with no real levels or checkpoints. You do get currency and other things that'll help you with your next climbs, but it's still a different genre of game. I think it's still widely appealing though. I mean, I had never played a game of that genre before, and I was honestly quite nervous about Side Order's gameplay before it came out. But I found it incredibly fun, refreshing, and even addictive at times. Side Order is made to be highly replayable. I know for some that also means repetitive, but you can play around with 12 different main weapons, change subs and specials inside the Spire, make tons of unique builds with all the color chip options, and you can also very easily change the overall difficulty with Marina's hacks, which keeps the DLC feeling fresh. Speaking of hacks, I really like how you can choose how difficult you want your climbs to be. Some players just want to have fun and prefer to use many hacks. Others might want more of a challenge and choose to play with less. Either way, Side Order gives you the freedom to choose how difficult you want it to be and adapt it to how you want to play the game. There's also tons of rewards to obtain from this DLC, so many that I had to make an entire video covering them. But some notable ones are unlocking Inkopolis Square that has frankly the most beautiful Splatfests. You can also get Order weapon skins, gear, badges, and so much more. Some of the rewards are easier to get than others, but the ones I just mentioned are obtainable after your first completion of the spire. But Side Order is not perfect. First, the story is not very complex. I still liked it, but it's not a narrative masterpiece and I don't think it was meant to be. Unfortunately, the gameplay can also get a bit repetitive because you do have to go through the spire multiple times. Keep in mind that there's a ton of different floors and it'll take you a lot of runs to play them all even once. But it's true, I did have to take a break from Side Order after completing 1000% because it started to feel repetitive for me. The gameplay in general really depends on your personal preferences. I personally had an amazing time with it, but it is vastly different from other single-player campaigns, and it's not for everyone, even if I think most people will enjoy it. Overall, I think Side Order is worth getting if you're interested in the gameplay, because it's certain you will like everything surrounding it. The world is super polished and immersive, the characters are charming, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. Genuinely some of the best music in the entire series. If you're getting the expansion pass, then it's mostly gonna be for Side Order, because it's just so much bigger and where most of that $25 are going. Both waves are really good, but it's important to remember that they do have flaws. Inkopolis Plaza is a fun addition, but it has no real impact on the game, and Side Order has very different gameplay from what we've seen before in Splatoon. Even though it has a ton of amazing things, you can't really appreciate them if you don't enjoy the core gameplay. But I wouldn't be too concerned about that. As I mentioned earlier, I was unsure about Side Order and didn't even know if I would like it, but I ended up having a great time with it. In my opinion, the Expansion Pass DLC is very much worth its price for the amount of content you get. If you can, I definitely recommend getting it. And if you do, try a charger run. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you bought the Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass, and if you did, what did you think of it? Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!